Okay, welcome everyone to the Turnitin Marking Workshop. My name's Asa Dickey and I'm with the e-learning team. And the e-learning team supports the central e-learning systems, including Blackboard and Turnitin, Padlet, HIP, so a number of tools. I'll now hand to Hong to introduce herself.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the workshop. My name is Hung and I am another e-learning advisor working here at Italy UQ. Welcome, everyone.
All right, so just let's get started. Acknowledgement of country. The University of Queensland acknowledges the traditional owners and their custodianship on the lands on which we meet. We pay our respects to their ancestors and their descendants who continue cultural and spiritual connections to country. We recognise their valuable contributions to Australian and global society. The session today will go 10 to 11. We hope to be finished on time and the session will be recorded. And if you need to take a break, make sure you're muted. So what we're going to go through in this session is we're going to look at how you submit an assignment as a student, so you know the process from the student's point of view. We're going to view a similarity report and look at how you may interpret it, but the basic interpretations of it. We'll mark an assignment using lots of different marking options that are available in Turnitin. And we'll view the results in Grade Centre and as a student, so you can sort of know what happens with the results at the end. So what is Turnitin? It's a web-based submission and feedback service, and the main features of Turnitin is text matching. You may hear it being called a plagiarism detection tool, which we strongly discourage. And it has lots of online marking features, like it's got text and bubble comments and comment banks, and you can mark with the rubric and you can give voice feedback and overall feedback, etc. And it supports a variety of file types. Just a quick note, text matching. Turnitin is software. It doesn't detect plagiarism. It's a text matching software. It basically will tell you when ideas or words of another are presented in the work. Whereas plagiarism is when you actually have these ideas and words present in your work, but without proper acknowledgement, credit, or attribution. So that's the difference there. So I'll get everyone to log in to learn.uq.edu.au. I'll just put that in the chat. And this is a hands-on session. Make sure you log in with your staff username and password, because you've all been set up with a course with your staff username and password. So make sure you log in with that. If you've got any problems, please put a message in the chat to Hong and she'll see if she can sort it out. So if you can all go to learn.uq.com and we're going to come into here. Now, to find your course, just type in Turnitin. And you should have a course come up that says Turnitin online training. So if you when you find it, if you can do a thumbs up, and we'll get started. Yeah, excellent. So people have found that. I'll give you one more minute. If you've got any problems, let Hong know. Because it's a hands-on workshop, so I really want you doing this with me. All right, let's get started. So we're going to go into assessment. So this is where all the assessments should be set up in your course you're tutoring in. Most courses would put a copy of the assessment table at the top, and they will have a folder for each assessment item with the same name as the assessment item has in the ECP. We're going to go into the first folder. And as you can see, the assessment link is recommended is at the top, so it's easy to find by students as well as the support services Ask Us. And also there'd normally be resources here as well. Now we need an assignment to submit. So I'm going to show you the submission process for students. So if you click on this bottom link here that says assignment 1, sample answer 1, we're going to upload that one. So if you open that up and download it, so just download it to your PC. So you'll have something to upload. I'll give everyone a minute to sort that out. Make sure you know where you've downloaded it to. While we're doing it, just take a note. We strongly recommend when the assessment's set up that it has links to student guides, which are on the library site. I usually just Google UQ Library Turnitin, and also a link to Ask Us. So no, you don't have to be technical support for your students as a tutor. Please send them to Ask Us to get technical help. And that service is through the library. So let's all submit as a student. So what we're going to do is show you how a staff member submits on behalf of a student. And basically, it's the same process. Basically, your students will click on the link and then they'll come up with this submission screen. We're going to do it on behalf of a student, but the process is the same. So if everyone does this with me, let's click on the link. Might be a bit slow. Lots of people on campus today, making the internet slow if you're on campus. Righto. So what we're going to do is we're going to choose a student. So I'm just going to choose student 1. And I'm going to submit on behalf of this student. So click continue.
Sorry, Lisa. Why did you click? I missed it.
All right. So I went into assessment.
Okay.
And then I went into assessment 1, critical film analysis. And then I clicked on the submission link.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Yeah, and when I got there, I selected to submit on behalf of a student. So I selected student 1 and continue. And what you're seeing from now on is the same as when the student. So when the student clicks on the link, this is what pops up. So they choose the file to upload. You can change the file name if you want. I'm going to click upload and review. It's taking a little minute here. Just note the students get information so they can see the file size, the word count, the title. They get a quick preview. They can preview. I'm not going to do that if they want. So there's no excuses for a student. I have chosen the wrong thing to upload, but yep, no, that's all right. And I'm going to click to submit to Turnitin. So submit to Turnitin. And they get a success message. Right. So we can see that they've got a similarity score of 83. So let's go and have a look at that. To go in, you can either click on the pencil or on the similarity score. It takes you to the same place. So I'm going to click on the similarity score. It's red. It was fully plagiarized. So let's have a little look at what is there. So let's click on that. And we'll have a look at the similarity report. Right. So we can see this has highlighted. So that's actually fine because it's highlighting the question. There is possible now for the staff to upload the question paper. So the template text is not included, but it hasn't been done in this case. So this one's not highlighting. It hasn't picked it up even though it was plagiarized. And these other things it has picked up as plagiarized. I think it's done more one source. So if I click over here on the 83, right, so it's submitted to the University of Queensland because it's been submitted before. If you click here, you can see the breakdown. And you can sort of see, you know, what was from the Courier Mail. So with the breakdown, normally you get a range of things that was sort of references. It may give one website, but it may not be the website they use, because the same text is on multiple websites across the internet. So that's why the breakdown is useful. You can see if the text is on multiple websites. So they may not have used the website that comes up as the first one here. So that's it. And now if you have a quick look over here, normally you'd have lots of numbers. We've only got one, but if you click on the one, it'll give you a summary. Oops, what's it doing? It's loading. It'll give you a summary of where it's been copied from. And you can then also click on full source to get the full source showing here as well. And that's going to take a while to load. Problem with doing things in week one. Let's try one more time. All right, we might come back to that. But basically, if you click on the numbers, it'll tell you the source, and you'll have a full source button, and the full source, it'll give you a summary of the source, and in full source, it'll come up on the side here. Just note some things you can do. So it is possible, for example, to exclude a source. So I could select a source and choose to exclude source. Sorry, that'll select the checkbox, which it's not. Oh, there we go. So it shows, well, this is saying it was from course hero, this one, etc. What's this doing? Normally you can select it and exclude a source, which it's not allowing us to do at the moment. Oh, there we go. It's just a bit slow. And you can exclude it, which it's not allowing us to do. All right, why was this bit at the top not selected? Why do we only have an 83%? And that's not going to move for me either. Match, basically because that was copied from the newspaper yesterday. So the database is not perfect, not everything, it's pretty good, not everything is in it. So latest news articles, etc., may not have made it to the database, so they may not show. So that's something to be aware of. I'll just go back to my slide. So just when you're detecting plagiarism, you're not looking at the percentage, and that's a sort of common problem. What percentage is plagiarism? And I get that asked that a lot, and so does Ask Us. But it's not about the percentage. As I'll show you on this use case, this one here is 5%, but it's a plagiarism case. This one is 30% and it's not. So it's not about the percentage. So this one is a copy and paste and there's been no referencing at all. This one is 30%, but this one, the purple section, is the essay question. So that's fine. The next one down is a citation. Again, that's fine. One is a common fact. That's fine. One is a quote that's been referenced. One is sort of not very well paraphrased, but probably passes. And also the reference list is actually being matching, which is fine as well. If the reference list matches or not depends on how the course coordinator set up the assignment. If you've got any questions about similarity reports, please put them in the chat to Hong and we'll keep going. So you can go on into similarity report here. I'll go back in to see if we have as many problems this time. Righto, I'm going to click over here. So the red section is the similarity report. So I'm going to click on the top of that red bar and turn the similarity report off. So it's just an overlay, so you can have it turned on or turned off. I'm also going to click on the top of the blue section and sort of pull out the marking bar as well. Okay, so with marking, what we're going to do is go through a few different marking options. So we're going to look at text comments, we're going to look at bubble comments, we're going to look at quick marks, which are comment banks, we're going to mark with the rubric, we're going to look at a voiceover, we're going to look at general feedback, and we're going to practice all of them. So we've got plenty of time to practice them. So by the end of this, you should be good at marking. Sorry, just get my window back. All right, so let's start first. I'm just going to scroll past the cover page. So let's start first with text comments. So make sure you're all doing this with me. So we'll practice some text comments first. Very simple. Click anywhere on the page and choose the text. And then you can write your comment in and click away, and there it is. You can hover on it. Oops. Sometimes a little tricky to get the 4 arrows, and you can move the comment where you want. You can also hover on it and delete the comment. So I'll get everyone to put in a couple of text comments as a practice. So if everyone wants to do that, make sure you can move it. It is a little bit fiddly to get the 4 arrows come up, but is doable. And remember, not clicking enter, but clicking away to make it stay on the page. And you can click on it to edit it. So give everyone a minute to practice putting in some text comments. Right, next we're going to look at highlighting. So you can actually do strike throughs. So I'll show you that first. So I can highlight some text. So if I highlight text and I press the delete key in my keyboard. Oh, sorry. I don't know if to click the strike through and you can do a strike through. You can hover on it again and or you can hover on it and delete. Do be careful. It is possible to put 2 strike throughs on the same piece of text and then you have to delete it twice to get it to work, which I've done. So that's strike throughs. Just have a little practice with that. Highlight the text and choose strike through. Just have practice with that. All right, the next thing we're going to look at is adding bubble comments. So I'm going to click anywhere in the screen and choose a bubble comment. So there it is. So with a bubble comment, you can add in a comment. Usually if it's longer than a sort of one-word comment, which you might do in text, so you might say, right, referencing incorrect, please refer to APA guide. And I can click away. Some other things you can do is just use some basic formatting. So I can click on bold. I could link to an API guide. So I'm pretty sure the library has an API guide. So if I go UQ, APA, and I can grab that link. And I'll highlight that text, click on Insert Link and paste in the URL and OK. Okay, so I'll get you all to add in a couple of bubble comments. So just all have a practice at that. Just put in some bubble comments for a practice. Try the formatting, try the linking. The other thing you can do with comments, which I'd like you to do, I'm going to click on some I've already collected, is you can actually link them to a criteria, a rubric criteria. So if I click on assign criteria, I don't know, I've only got criteria 1, 2, 3. Probably need to know what's in the criteria, but I'll assign to criteria 2. And click away, and you can see that it's got a criteria, it's been assigned a rubric criteria because I've got the little icon here. And I might do the same with this one. Might do that one criteria 2 as well. And just note, oops, I mustn't have done that. Really, I've done. You can also delete it using the little icon in the bottom left-hand corner. So there's some basic bubble comments, and you can move them wherever you like. So they're sort of general, but you can also link bubble comments to highlighted text. So I'm going to do that as well. So I'm going to highlight some text. And then I'm going to choose bubble comment. Again, write your comment. You can choose a colour. Now, some people like to use different colours to represent different comments. So one might be about referencing and one about the argument, or people just use them randomly. But you've got colours to use how you want. Just note, if you do use a colour one, if I click and drag it, see how it's got a little line? A lot of staff, when they're marking, actually like to line the bubble comments down the margins so they don't get lost. Sort of a personal preference. I'm going to put in a couple of those. So everyone have a practice with that. You might like to decide whether you like the bubbles down the margins or just next to the text. Hong's making a very good comment. The language you should use should be constructive and positive and friendly. Yep. So there are our bubble comments. So the next thing we're going to do, so we've done some text comments, we've done bubble comments, we've linked them to criteria, done highlighted bubble comments. Next thing we're going to practice is using a comment bank, a quick mark set. So I'm going to click on the quick mark set, and there's two types of quick marks. There's ones that are built in, and which you might like, and there's also you can build your own. So we'll look at the built-in ones just for a minute to have a look. So if you want to use the built-in comments, and there's two ways to use them. You can use them here, or you can actually use them from over here. So there's lots of built-in comments. Ones that are useful, I find, are commonly used composition marks. So commonly used, I've messed with my set a bit, but citation needed is quite useful. And so that's got some built-in text already that you can use. You can assign that criteria. And you can also add to the comment. So this is the built-in bit, but you could add in a little bit more context yourself as well. So they're the built-in comment banks. I'll get everyone to have a bit of a play with that. Just see what comment banks you have and what ones you like. You may or may not like them, but just have a little play with that. The other option for comment banks, if you're finding that little sort of, if you find it really quite too small to deal with this, and sort of selecting it and then trying to find the comment, the other option you have is you can look at the comment banks over here. So I can choose commonly used, or I can do a search, and I can actually just drag them on as well. So i.e. highlight the text and drag that one on. So let everyone have a bit of a play with that. I'm just finding the ones I think are useful. Okay, so we sort of played with the ones that putting on your own, using the quick marks, the comment banks that are already there. How do you actually create your own comment bank? So there's two ways. You can do it on the fly, or you can sort of pre-make them. So we'll do a pre-made sort of comment bank, and then we'll also look at how you can add them on the fly. So just to make sure everyone's in the same place, if I click on the top of the little blue bar, so the blue bar is for marking and the red bar is for the similarity report. So click on the top of the blue bar. Oops. It will open up, except when the internet's really bad at UQ. Might have to close and open it again. Sorry, guys. Wait a sec. All right, I think it's because I should have clicked a little bit lower down on the quick marks, but there we are. So if I click on the quick marks. Right, now to make your own comment bank, we're going to click on the little cog on the top here. Click on the cog here, and we'll go into the space where we can make our quick mark sets. So basically you have comments and you can put all the comments into a set. So here you can see some of the built-in sets. So the ones with locks are the built-in ones you can't change. Ones with pencils are ones I've created myself. So I'm going to click here on these three little dots, and I'm going to choose new set. So if everyone chooses new set, I'm going to give our new set a name. I'm just going to give it Ouse's, what's the date? 22nd of Feb. Workshop. Might put it in there. So, but normally you name it with the assignment name. So you may have a set per assignment, or you maybe just have one set you use across The sets belong to you, not to the course. And I will show you later how you actually share them. So you're going to click on submit. So as you can see in the list now, we have my own set with nothing in it. I've got a little pencil, shows it's my own set and I can add stuff to it. Now I want to make a quick mark or a comment. So I'm going to click on the little pencil. And in the description is where you put the comment. And as Hong said, should be constructive and sort of positively framed and friendly. That was a good word. I like friendly. So more detailed information. Okay. So I put that in there. So you put your comment in there, and then your comment needs a title. So that's sort of like an abbreviation. So the title might be detail. By the way, the comments come up in alphabetical order, and some staff like to control the order. They don't like alphabetical order. If you want to control the order, you can do that by putting numbers in front of the comments. There you go. So if I click on this one, I can see my comment. So let me create a couple of comments. So I'm going to click on here. Now, I think I put that in the wrong set. Let's see. Just edit that set now. So click on the quick marks. I'll just do another one. I'll just do a silly one. Oh no, yeah. So this is where it shows what set it's going into. So make sure you've got the right one. So do a few comments. And I can submit it. Righto. Now, the other thing that you can do is get a comment from any set and add it to another one. So, for example, you can do it by searching for it, but I might go in the commonly used. Like there's some of the commonly used I like and some of them I don't like. So I'm going to put maybe one of the ones I like into my own personal comment bank. So I'm going to click on maybe conclusion, and I'm going to say I want it to add it to a set, and I want to add that one into my personal set. So there we go, and submit. So it'll be added to my personal set. I like that one too. I'm going to add that into my personal set. And that means you don't have to flick between sets. If you have all your favourite comments in one set, it can make it a lot quicker. So I'll let everyone have a chance to do that and have a quick play, and we'll move on. I'm just going to close that. The other way to add things to comment banks, you have to have an actual comment set already set up, but you can do it on the fly. So, for example, I made a comment earlier, this one here, and I'm actually thinking that was a great comment. I want to reuse it. I want it in my comment bank. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select it again and go convert to quick mark. It wants me to do a title, so I'm just going to call it APA 6. So give it the comment a title and decide which comment set you want to add it. So I'm going to add it into my personal one and submit. And that's quite handy. So that's doing it on the fly. Also, the comment banks belong to you. So how do you share them? I'm just going to give you a quick demo of that. So I'm going to go back to the cog. So just note, this is just a demo. You can export a set. So I could export my personal set that I've just made. It's not a file that you can open on your computer. You can basically just download it and upload it. So I've exported a set, and maybe your course coordinator has given you a set of comments as a starting point. So you can come to import set up here. So import set. I'm going to browse, and I'm going to import and upload. And that's a way of sharing comment banks. One person can export it, just email it around, attach it to an email as a file. You can download it and then import it into Turnitin while you're logged in as yourself, because that way the set will then belong to you. I think I did something wrong there, but that's the steps. Okay, let's keep going with our marking. So I've done comments here. The next thing down is the feedback summary. So if you come down the list here with me, the feedback summary, and you can make a voice comment. I can't really do that because the mic's being used by Zoom, but you can click here, make a 3-minute voice comment. You can stop it, you can start it. You can only do one. The research shows that students find voice comments a lot more personal. Even if you say the same thing as you write in writing, they do find it more personal. The text comments is where you can give an overall summary of your feedback to the student about the assignment. So, you know, overall. Etc. So I'll let you all sort of fill something in there. And I can sort of, you can got some basic formatting. I can click away. And it saves. You've got a fair bit of text you can fill in there as well. So that's where you can put your general comment. Though, frankly, you probably do that at the end. I don't know why it's in that spot. The next thing down is a rubric. So we're going to go down to a rubric. So you probably do your rubric first and then do your general comment. We'll go down the rubric. So the rubric would have been uploaded by your course coordinator when they set up the assignment. So I'm just going to pull up the criteria. So I can have a look through the criteria here. That's one view, and I can use the little scroll bar to select the marks. And if I select this one, it'll show what it is. The other option is next to the little clock to the left is a little 4 arrows, and you can bring up the big window, which you may find easier, especially when you're marking the first few assignments. May take a little minute to come up. So you can click on the different and select the correct performance level for the correct criteria. Just note, because I linked my comments, linked comments to the rubric, I can here also click on the little bubbles and find out what I said, the comments I made that were aligned with this criteria. So that's really quite useful. And I can just close that. So when I'm finished marking, I can apply this to grade. So this may be marked out of 100, but I can convert it to a mark out of 40. Note it will round. So if it's 0.5, 0.6, 0.7, 0.8, 0.9, it rounds up, and otherwise it will round down. So I can apply that to grade. And just note, we've only got one paper here, but you can see the whole list of papers in the drop-down menu, unless you've got more than 999. If you've got more than 999, it won't allow you to select from the drop-down menu. And you can also go to the next submission and back again. All right, that's all the main marking features. I'm just going to close that now. And we're going to look at a few other features. So a few of you got a little bit lost, so I'm just going to quickly show you again. To open this bar, so it's not the top one, it's the actual tick to open that bar. And to get into the comments, it's the cog. And there's a close down there. Right, I'm just going to close that one there and leave. Now, when I get back to this page here, sometimes the grade's not showing. You may need to refresh the page to see the grade. So that's something to note. Some other things to note is the groups from Blackboard will flow through to Turnitin. So if you want to see all the students in your tutor group, you can also do that. So i.e., you might open each of these, you might sort of go through your own tutor group and open each of them in the new window. So you have them all in tabs to mark. And we've already been through, you can submit on behalf of the student. That's unusual, but it is possible. Okay, let's look at what's happened to the marks and how the students will view them. So I'm just going to close that. So the marks will, if you go back to Blackboard and Grade Centre, full Grade Centre, the mark will automatically go back to Grade Centre. So let's have a quick look at that. So you can see when the course coordinator sets up the Turnitin assignment for submission, a column is automatically created in Grade Centre. When you mark, the marks are automatically transferred to Grade Centre. Just note, see how it's got this little icon of a red dot with a line across it? That means that the results are not visible to students through My Grades. And that's changed by going hide from students on off and hide from students on off. So if it's got a black circle line, students can't access the mark through My Grades, and if you have it turned off, they can. There's two ways to access the mark. So one is students can go through My Grades. Now this is a training course, but it does have a screenshot at what it looks like to students. So basically, if the students come here, they can only see their own mark. And if you have set the column so they can see the column, they'll be able to see the mark. If you've set the column in Grade Centre so they can't see it, they won't be able to set the mark. The other thing to note with Turnitin, and something your course coordinator will do, but just so you're aware, to see the actual feedback, the students, there's a setting in Turnitin and I can click on the cog. And it's the feedback release date. So that needs to be set so the students can actually click on the link and not only see their mark and feedback as well. So the students can basically go to their feedback through two doors, so by clicking on the link, but to see it through, they need that release date available. Also through My Grades, my grades will, if the columns aren't hidden, show them their mark as well. Righto, we've got a few minutes before we wrap up. Does anyone have any questions they'd like to ask verbally before I wrap up? Anything they'd like re-demonstrated? Feel free to unmute your mic or maybe put it in the text messages.
Hi. We just started a course yesterday, the first lecture, and I'm the teaching aide. One of the things I noticed, I have the feeling that the course coordinator doesn't know how to remove the quizzes that won't contribute to the grades from the My Grades tab. Would you mind showing us if that's possible?
So hiding them?
Exactly, hiding the ones that will not contribute to the grade.
Yeah, they're gonna you can hide the mark, but if it's an assessment item, it'll show on that list still.
Okay, no, perfect.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
yeah,
No, thank you.
Yeah. All right. Any other questions? All right, we might just do the wrap up now then. So there's a number of support services and available to both you and course coordinators. So if you've got a technical issue, you can email help@elearning.uq.edu and our technical support staff can help you with that issue. We run e-learning workshops like this one. We can also run like the same marking workshop. We do run it at a course level. So if you've got a group of tutors in your course who'd like the workshop run, course coordinator can contact us and we can run a workshop with you. We also usually have a lot of course coordinators who get us to come to like their first assignment pre-marking meeting, and the course coordinator can talk to you about how they want the assignment marked, or we can sort of also show you technically how to do that as well. We have a e-learning advisor service. This is mainly aimed at course coordinators, but we also have a few lead tutors who are setting up the course for staff as well. That's really focused on setting up the assignment and not as much as on the marking, but that's really aimed at course coordinators, but we do get some lead tutors. We have e-learning guides on our e-learning website. So I'll just show you that. That you can refer to. And there's guides for students on the library site. So I'll put it in there, Turnitin. Okay. Probably the other thing to be aware of is there's two submission tools at UQ. The main one used is Turnitin, because you have the similarity report. There's also an inbuilt native Blackboard assignment submission tool, just called the Blackboard assignment tool. It's not used as much. It will handle groups, but it doesn't have a similarity report. So people sort of use it if it's something that doesn't need a similarity report. So it's an Excel spreadsheet or something like that. As far as group assignments, the normal recommendation for group assignments is the staff set up a Turnitin link if they need a similarity report. One student submits on behalf of the group, and only that student receives the feedback, and it's their responsibility to pass the feedback on to the other group members. And when you mark, the mark will only go to that student. So in grade 10, you'll have to enter the mark for the other members of the group. Not ideal, but it's the same process previously when we had paper submission. One student submits, one student gets a paper back, and that student's responsible for handing it around to the other group members. All right, just as a quick wrap up, we might just get you in comments to put in one takeaway that you have from the session. So what's maybe the one more important new thing you learned, Or do you have any feedback on what we can include in the workshop in future to improve it? So if you can just quickly put that in chat, your one feedback, one thing you've taken, one takeaway from the session. Do you do sessions for course coordinators and tutors together? Definitely. Email e-learning advisors at uq.edu and organise a custom course. You like the colour coding? I'm very partial to the colour coding. I am in all software. Someone said quick marks and how to compose. Yeah. Having a great quick mark set really improves your quality of your feedback as well as making it faster. Righto, we'll just officially wrap up the workshop now. I'll stay in line for a little bit. If you've got any specific questions, please feel free to unmute and ask them. Any burning questions? Yeah, we'll send a copy of the recording once it comes through. It's week 1, so it'll probably take a few hours because there'll be other recordings happening today. All right, I'm going to go. I don't think I've got any questions. Have a lovely rest of your day.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.